can you tell me a little bit more about what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So this started when I was working on my PhD in computer science, and I was working on virtual reality applications. And I made as a prototype a Google Cardboard. I don't know if you remember, years ago there was the Google Cardboard. You just put an Android phone,
Yeah.
the Google Cardboard, and I made prototype with a group for doing cardiac stent operations. And then I met Rajiv, Dr. Singhal, who's my partner, and he saw my prototype, and he said, "You got to get into urology." And so he teaches, as well as being a chief surgeon at the Michael Garron Hospital, he teaches kidney stone removal operations. And what I guess his issue was, he performed surgeries all week, and the last thing he wants to do on the weekends is get radiation poisoning by doing training on pigs, which is the way that kidney stone surgery is usually taught. So we came up with a virtual reality simulation tool to teach how to do kidney stone removal operations. And early on, he invited me into the OR, and I got to kind of see the operation and make it as realistic as possible. And he brought some funding from doctors that really liked what we were doing, and other friends that were sort of in the angel investment world. And we built the kidney stone removal operation as our first operation on a platform. And our first customers were, medical device companies like Cook Medical, Boston Scientific, Coloplast, who wanted to use this for advanced training because there was nothing like it out there. And now we've expanded. We got a $1 million contract to build a training tool for doing robotic surgery. And robotic surgery is sort of where the puck, to use a Canadian term, where a puck's moving. And so now we have a new product that we're just about to launch for doing robotic surgery, kidney removal, again in urology, kidney removal, and we're going to expand into other modalities as well.
And do you need, because usually in the medical space, and I'm not an expert at all. Actually, I don't know much about the medical space.
Sure.
Usually you need, to be Health Canada approved. I think in the US, what's the body that is like Health Canada, is like the FDA or something?
FDA, yeah. So for us, we don't need that because it's a training tool. So it's really, it's the discretion of the person that's doing the training that it meets their requirements for being a training tool. Pigs certainly and cadavers aren't FDA approved, which is again the alternative. The one thing we are getting into is surgical rehearsal. So that's the idea that we have a pipeline to take real patient data to practice on a real patient. And again, it's just for training and for heads up and to get familiar with the case you're going to do. But if you were to actually push the device into the OR and use it, then we're starting to get into sort of FDA and other clearances that you'd need. At the moment, it's sort of training. We're more, trying to get that certification for the training for Royal College of Surgeons, for instance, that are moving towards competency-based training, et cetera.
So it seems so logical. I mean, I guess the alternative before, people were training on corpse. So is there a way to defend, what you're building? So how do you defend this? Because it seems like such a great idea that maybe other people do this.
Oh, you mean so we did get a patent granted on our technology, on our core platform, if that's what you're talking about. Like, how do you protect it? Yeah, so we did go for the patent. And again, it's kind of new for hospitals to adopt this kind of technology. So we kind of want to have a first mover advantage in the urology space, certainly with our devices and tools.
What's your sales cycle? You sell to hospital, university hospitals, stuff like that, or?
Yeah, which has a longer sales cycle. And certainly in Canada, devices like this, in some cases, they have to wait for some kind of a donation from somebody in order to purchase something like this. So it takes time. It's in the queue. It's a large capital purchase. So we started to think of alternate ways just to get our foot in the door, which is leasing, rentals, that kind of thing. So it's proven to be a popular product.
And so obviously people it seems, it can help save life, because if you train more doctor, cheaper, then you have better outcome. I mean, I guess that's the goal. But the question is like, how do we make money investing in a company? What's the exit strategy? Do you plan? Is it a play to sell the company? Is it a play to list on the public markets?
Yeah, so I guess there's two questions there. You were just talking about saving lives. Just want to mention we did do a pilot with the St. Joe's Hospital in Hamilton, where we actually took a patient and they allowed us to use their data, and then the surgeon practiced using our device, and it turned out that it actually saved him time in the operation. So saving times, less time under the needle, less time under anesthesia. So yeah, so our product could potentially save lives. On the exit strategy, certainly, working with these medical device companies, that could be a logical exit where one of them might choose to buy us, just want to be exclusive and buy our company, which is something that would be interesting. Actually, it's funny with putting yourself out in the public, which is kind of what you do with something like FundFunder. We've had a lot of inbound, calls from M&A, people that want to acquire companies like ours. So it is conversations that we're having. We certainly want to build the company bigger. So I did have a recent conversation with an M&A group, and I was saying, hey, we've got this new product that's coming out, this one for robotic surgery, and we want to look at what our valuation will be after that, rather than in the middle of it. We want to kind of have those revenues come in from that product as well, and increase the value of the company before we, consider what an exit.
Like for people here that would be interested in investing, what would be how does it work if they're actually interested? They say, I want to save life, I want to invest in this company. How do they make that happen?
Yeah, so the beauty of FundFunder is they make it very easy. So you just go on the platform and you fill out some forms and you make your investment. It takes a bit longer if you want to do an RSP contribution or a TSFA, because it goes through Pacific Trust, but they take care of all that back end stuff. And just a quick funny story, I told you this angel investor wanted to invest in the company, but he didn't want to pay the wire fee. So he had me drive 2 hours to pick up his check. 2 hours. Like I said, hey, don't you want me running the company? I mean, here I am, just trying to save you the $40 on that. FundFunder takes care of all that stuff, and they have really good staff.